Hello one, hello all. Welcome to this top 10, only 10 list of CP's expedition journey through South Korean films. I told you that I've really only been turned on to South Korean cinema recently with
Parasite.
The incredible journey that Parasite has been on. I love that movie. I literally cheered when it won an Oscar.
Can someone please raise your goddamn hand and tell me, for the love of Christ, how many fucking people in the United States of motherfucking America saw Parasite? Okay? I don't know what Parasite is. I don't give a shit about Parasite.
And after that, boy, did people start pouring in with suggestions. And then I realized that I've actually seen a couple of South Korean movies. But all that aside, I've seen 10 as of recording this, and I have a couple more ready to go. But this is me ranking the first 10 movies I've seen. So if it's 10, it just means it's my least favorite of the movies I've watched. Yeah, the further if I did a top 100, who knows, maybe this 10 wouldn't change. But anywho, on to number 10. Snowpiercer, which is a movie I saw when it came out. There's a lot of class warfare stuff going on. The poor people stay at the back of the train, and the higher ups stay at the front, and the train's got to constantly keep moving because, well, the world has basically ended outside. It's freezing. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I don't think I would kick people over to watch it, but it was okay. Number 9 is Train to Busan, which I really wish this movie came out like 10 years ago because it's good. It really is good. It's a zombie movie that actually focuses on character building and story and stuff like that. And I think my disdain for the zombie genre might have pulled this movie down for me. I do recognize that it's much better than a regular run-of-the-mill zombie movie, but I'm kind of tired of the zombie genre. But again, that's not saying the movie's bad. I'm just saying it's my 9th favorite of the 10 I've seen. Number 8 is Memories of a Murder, which is Bong Joon-ho, the director of Parasite. Shit, this is a fucked up movie. The best movie I can compare it to is probably something like Seven or Zodiac. It felt a lot like Zodiac. So there's that. If you understand what I'm talking about there, I suggest watching it. Again, from here up are great movies, and I would say if you can get your eyes on it, do it. Number 7 is I Saw the Devil. Well, the guy from Old Boy is in this movie. He's not exactly perfect. There's a bunch of murders, and it gets worse than that, is the best way I can put it. Emily was turned off by what was happening. I've seen enough shitty movies with crazy things happening that I was like, oh, okay, yeah, all right. Really strong. It's Silence of the Lambs on coke. Next is Old Boy. Yeah, I understand. Old Boy is 6th on my list out of 10. Some of you are throwing shit, I understand. The problem with Old Boy with me, it was hyped just so much that I expected, the greatest thing to happen to movies. And it's good, it's really good, it's quite good. It just never lived up to that hype that was brought upon it. And also, I had watched the Spike Lee version first.
Oh, fuck no!
So that might have, obviously this is a far better version than Spike Lee's, but it probably ruined my experience, amongst other things. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a hella bit. Hella bit. Is that English? Fuck it. Number 5 is The Handmaiden. Wow, if you told me that I would watch a movie that's close to 3 hours that has no gunfire, no massive pools of blood, no cars? I don't even think there's like a fast car chase or anything. If you told me that there'd be none of that in a movie and I was going to enjoy it for close to 3 hours, I would have told you you're drunk. But it's a romantic drama / thriller where there's a twist. And again, something about class within these movies. This movie itself, there's a bit of class warfare and a lot of nudity. A lot of nudity, and you know, people like 50 Shades of Grey should just look at this movie for how to foreplay without really being nude, and then how to be nude. Like, this movie really is steamy. It's the best way I can put it. Number 4 is Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, which is the last movie of the trilogy that I watched, and I had a brilliant time with it. I thought the fact that the brother was deaf really added an interesting aspect to the story. These two people who don't mean to do wrong have some horrible things happen, and they end up going down these roads that they don't want to. Accidents happen, people die, it sucks. That just happens sometimes, and it was just so brutally realistic about, you know, how sometimes people just get stuck. And I loved it. Absolutely, like, I think I'm 5 stars from here in. Number 3 is Lady Vengeance, or Sympathy for Lady Vengeance, which I've seen it both ways. And this is the 3rd film of the Old Boy trilogy, which I watched second. Interesting story, the way they go back and forth, and it's not exactly like Tarantino, the way they tell the story in a non-linear fashion, but you get ideas on who she is and how she's come a certain way. And the use of color in these movies is all 3. I need to find out what the use of orange signifies in Korean film, because orange is quite prevalent in a lot of things. Somebody who dies wears orange, somebody's trinket was orange. So I don't know if orange is their red or what, but if you notice the clothing and how things are set up, orange plays a particular part. The cinematography is really, at points, it's perfect. It doesn't let you too close because they're talking about stuff that isn't really something you want to be close about. And it's hard to explain this movie without going overboard and ruining things, but if you can get a chance and get your hands on all 3 of the Old Boy movies, I would highly suggest doing so. Number 2 is The Chaser. That's a movie I've recently done a quick video on, and fuck, where is the Blu-ray for this movie is my question, because it's great. Lots of foot chases. You know, nobody's really perfect. The guy's a pimp who used to be a police officer, and they catch the right guy, and things happen, and it's ironic, it's terrible, brutally real. Things that happen, especially in the 3rd act, are just brutal. The one thing I'll give Korean films is where an American film would take you to the edge and then bring you back, and somehow the person who's hanging off a ledge gets a hand to save them. This movie says fuck you and your ledge. Some people fall, and I like that. I like it when a movie doesn't try to be a movie. And lastly, number 1 is Parasite. Again, class warfare, weird things about the poor and the rich, and that's a constant theme, high and low, poor and rich, but done brilliantly. Just ask the Academy. I think I might do a deep dive into Parasite, a little bit longer than I did for The Chaser, and a little bit of a sneak peek. I've actually watched a couple of other movies. A Bittersweet Life has come in. I will watch that soon. And The Wailing is ready to go. So that's my first 10. If you would like to order those 10 in the way you would like to see them ranked, by all means do so in the comments section. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you enjoyed the Korean aspect, I'll be skating over to this side of the rink maybe once every quarter, if not a little bit more. By all means, subscribe and click that notification bell so you know when the Korean stuff's coming, or my other stuff. And if you really enjoy the video, I do have a Patreon. It's patreon.com/WILI, and I greatly appreciate your time regardless. Also, obviously, I appreciate my patrons for all their support, and we'll see you next time. I've been CP. You haven't.